All right, so this is an open office hours. So I'm happy to talk about, to demonstrate, go into whatever you would like to do. We are recording this, so this recording will be shared in our course. You can earn 5 points extra credit by either after participating here or viewing the recording archive, basically writing a paragraph sharing how you think this type of tool, these live synchronous communication, virtual office, whatever you want to call it, might or might not work in your class, whether it's a face-to-face class, hybrid class, or an online class. I have the chat room open on my screen, so if you want to chat something, please do it. You can just type it in there. You'll see on the bottom of your screen there's a little chat button. And so just type it in there, and then I'll make sure I try to remember to repeat your question or the comment because the chat is not included in the recording. So I do want to talk about, good morning, Van.
Good morning.
I do want to talk about home pages a little bit because I've had a few questions about choosing our home page. So I do want to talk a little bit about the different options that are available and why one might choose one over the other one. I took notes, got to remember to have those. Otherwise I know I'll get off of here and I'll be like, oh, I totally forgot to tell them that. So, okay, so we will do that. Let me show you the different options we have for home pages. In our course, you see a preset homepage, and that is a content page, which is one of the choices. So if you click courses and choose your course, and this particular one is our Introduction to Canvas, over here on the right, it says choose home page. And when you click that, it lets you choose between the activity stream, pages front page, which means a content page, course modules, assignment list, and syllabus. This is what the activity stream looks like. You've probably seen it in your sandbox because this is the default home page, the activity stream. Some people like it. Some people feel that it gives them that feel like they're used to in Blackboard. However, you always want to keep in mind when you're choosing a homepage for your course, when you're setting up content pages in your course, that you may have a student who has never taken an online course, even if you have an upper level course, somebody who's never taken a course in Canvas, maybe somebody who's never taken a college course, which if it's upper level, that probably won't happen, but a lot of you also teach courses that you've got freshmen in there all the time, and they may not be familiar with Canvas or where to go next. This does not give them a whole lot of information. They can click show more. They can click on the different announcements. If they have conversation messages, they can click on those. Okay. And if they have discussions, they can click on those. But it doesn't really give them a jumping off point. We really want to guide our students exactly where we want them to go. Otherwise, they wander off. They're like toddlers. So we want to rein them in. Good morning, Pamela.
Good morning.
So this is one of the options, course activity stream. It is the default. I don't love it, but each of you will find the reason why you choose what you choose for your homepage. Okay, again, we use a content page, and the way that we choose that, you can actually go to pages when you're the admin or when you're the teacher. And here's the one I've chosen. And then I click view all pages, and any page in my course can be a home page. I just go down and then go over to the left, and here on the gear, it says use as front page. And when I choose that, then I'll get, here I'll show you what it looks like. Then I'll get this little front page icon right next to the name of the one that I've chosen. So again, you click the gear, use as front page, and that becomes your new home page. One of the things that we do, I will show you in one of our other courses. So one of the things that we do in our online education standards and practices course is we change the home page every week. So we have them all preset. You can see here in pages, view all pages. We have them all preset, and then each Monday or Sunday night, we go in and we change the front page to the one for that week. On the very first week, it's very similar to the one we have in Introduction to Canvas. It says, start here. It takes them to their modules, their announcements, and stuff like that. So we choose a different front page every week. All we do is go over to the gear, choose use as front page, and it's all set. Some people like to actually go into the rich content editor of the page they've got up on the front and change whichever thing they're going to change. But when you're offering a course again and again, you don't want to go in and change it every week. It's easier just to have them preset and then just change which homepage is going to be the front page. Other options for your homepage is the modules list, the assignments list, and the syllabus. And that takes them right to the syllabus, the modules, or the assignments page. One of the things to consider, you can see over here, as students in my course, you don't see these files, the ones in the gray box here, assignments, files, pages, quizzes, conferences, collaborations, because I have hidden them. I'll show you how to do that in a sec. So I don't want my students to go straight to the assignments page. The reason is I do not want the students to think that they can just do all the assignments without reading the content. So I like to coach them through the material in the modules page. So if I were to choose one of those, modules, syllabus, or assignments as my homepage, it would probably be modules. This is an unpublished module. If you put a module in your course and it still has this cloud with the X, it is unpublished. At one, we like to keep a module at the top of our course that has that we keep unpublished, and we keep things in there that we want. So we have a roster that we do statistics, we have a to-do list for ourselves, we have samples and the shared doc for the Canvas Klatch list, things like that. And we just keep those there so only we can access them. Now, each page within a module also has a publish button. If you have a module that's unpublished, that's like a big bucket. So if you can't see the bucket at all, then you can't see anything in the bucket. So even if all these were published, as long as the module remains unpublished, you still wouldn't be able to see the pages. So there's 3 places that you can publish. You can publish your course, you publish modules individually, and publish pages individually. As you go through the course, if there's ever a time where you see a cloud with an X, that means that it's not published, and you can see the content because you're the designer, you're the teacher, but your students would not be able to see it. So if you're ever not sure if your students can see something in your course, you can go to Settings, and here's Student View. You get this bright pink frame, and it shows, see, now I can't get to assignments because as a teacher I've hidden that from my students. So now this is what it looks like to you. But as an instructor, it's always a good idea to go through and look at your course in Student View every now and then. So see, you can't see that module you saw a second ago, remember? Because it was a hidden one. All right. The other option is the syllabus page. One of the things you need to do if you choose to have the syllabus as your homepage, and if you choose to have a content page as your homepage, you want to have something in the editor that gives them a link. We have one right here that gets them out of the syllabus. Remember, when you have people that are new to Canvas, new to online learning, they may not know what a module is or that they need to go to modules to get to the content. And again, you don't want them just clicking on assignments, or they'll try to do all the assignments and not read any of your content. All right, I'm going to show you how to hide things like this. Side settings, again at the bottom of your course navigation menu. Up here at the top it says navigation. These are all the links that they can go to that I want showing. But these are all the different ones that could be there, but I do not have activated there. I can also move them up and down in the list if I want them to be in a different order. Some people like to put things in the order that they feel that their students are going to use more often. So they'll put modules right under home and grades right under that. They can take out things that they may not want their students to have access to. Are there any questions on choosing a home page, how to get to any of the different choices, why you might choose one over the other?
I had a question on the, you said to give them a link to get them out of the syllabus format. How do you do that to link it to something else like that?
I will show you. Good question. All right, I'm going to go into my sandbox here, and then I can show you all sorts of stuff. I just couldn't see it with the little share box on the top. Sometimes when you're in Zoom, you have your buttons to, when I'm sharing, my buttons are at the top. I have mute, stop video, manage participants, share, pause share, annotate, remote control, and more. And this bar moves, you can drag it around, but sometimes that bar and the little boxes with all the people in them, sometimes they end up in the way, and so you gotta move them out of the way. You can't see everything. All right, so this is my sandbox. When you're in a page, let's just make a new one. There are two different types of links that you can put in your course. One is relative links, and that means that it goes to another place in your course. And the purpose for a relative link is if you copy your course, you want to be able to still go to that same place in the new course also. So if I say, okay, I want my students to go to the academic honesty page in my course, okay? Right up here, this in your sandbox, in your institution instance of Canvas, and in our @ONE instance of Canvas. After instructure.com/courses, there is this number. It varies. The one in our @ONE course is 3 numbers. This one is 7 numbers. It depends on how many courses are on that server. So as long as you're within your course, this number will be the same. You guys are seeing this, right? Let me know if you're not seeing it because it doesn't have the little green bar around it this time. But you're seeing my sandbox, right?
I can see it.
Perfect. I don't know where my little green box went. Super weird. Okay. So a relative link will maintain whichever course you're in, even if you copy the course over for another semester. When I copied my sandbox from the @ONE instance of Canvas to this canvas.instructure.com instance, this number changed. So it just varies based on where you're at. So if I want to take my students to another place in my course, over here on this right side, here we have these links, files, images. These are all places within this course. So I've got all my assignments, my quizzes, my announcements, discussions, modules individually, and course navigation, which is these things over on the course navigation menu. So if I want to take them to academic honesty, I can just click right there, and now I have a link right there in my course that takes them right to the academic honesty page. If I transfer over my course, I copy it, course copy at the end of the semester, then it will change the course number also. It's relative to the course you're in. Okay. There's also the absolute link. Those are where you just take whichever. I want to copy my calendar link for my other account. See, this is the CCC Online Ed Instructure.com calendar. And then I want to put it here in my sandbox. Back over here. And it creates a link. So there's a couple different ways to create a link. You can just paste the link and click enter, and it becomes a link. You can click link to URL, and it gives you an opportunity to put it in. And it changes the text to link. You can also click, here's a little tip, so write it down. Control K, and it brings up this box. This is the only way to get to this particular box is by pressing Control K. It doesn't come up with any of these buttons up here in the rich content editor. So I can put my URL there. I can say I want meaningful text here. So I'm going to say I'm taking you to the calendar, which they may not even be able to see because they're not in that course. And when I'm taking students out of my course, anytime I'm taking them out, I want to make the target a new window. Again, the reason for that is because if the window they're in now becomes YouTube or now becomes a news article or anything I've linked them to, then their course is no longer active in their window and they may never come back. So we like to keep the course open. So anything that opens within the course, like my academic honesty page, opens right here within the same window. Then it would say none. And then anything that I have that opens outside of the course, I change the target to a new window. So it opens a new tab at the top. Joy, did I answer your question?
You did. I just have to decide what I would want to link them to, I guess.
Yeah, well, what you can do is you can even say the syllabus is not your homepage. Okay, say it's not your homepage, but you still have it available to them. You might even just say, go back to modules and then click, like this syllabus here, because this is in my sandbox, it doesn't go anywhere. So if they're here, they would have to know to click on these buttons to get out of my syllabus, or they'd have to click on an assignment. So we want to guide them as much as we can to go exactly where we want them. We don't want them wandering around or confused and frustrated, because that's never good. All right, what else can I help you with? Oh, here's another tip. When you use your home page, when you choose a home page for your course, and it's a content page, when you see pages in, for instance, this one, this welcome page, when it's within a module, it will have this next button down at the bottom. Okay. If I were to choose this page as my home page, I would no longer have a next button. The reason is because it's taking a static image and putting it on the home page. It's no longer within the module if it's your home page. And so if you choose to make a content page your home page, you have to give them a button out of there. Otherwise, they're going to get stuck and they won't be able to get out. Well, I mean, they could push all the things on the other side, all these menus over here. But if they don't know that, they're just going to be poking around until something sticks. And if they happen to have clicked this button up here, that menu won't even be there, and then they might not know where to go. By default, it's open, but you never know.
I have a question.
Yes, Pamela?
Is there any way you can show modules and assignments together in the homepage?
You can create a link that takes them directly to modules or directly to assignments by creating a link to those, but it won't show them all. So this is an add-on. This is an HTML code to add announcements at the top. It's not there by default. It's one of the, actually it's not HTML code, it's one of the settings in settings. It says show on the homepage. So you can create links that take them to the modules and assignments, or you can, in your assignments page, type out whichever content you want them to know, what's coming up for the week or something like that. But it cannot show both the modules page and the assignments page at once. But it will give them this to-do list over here. Mine's all grading, but when you're in there as a student, it gives you the assignments that are coming up like this down here at the bottom. Did that make sense, Pamela?
Angela.
Yes, Pamela.
Could you show us how you did the links on top of the screen, like start here, announcements, syllabus?
Yes, well, I'm not going to show you actually, but I will show you where to find the answer.
Okay.
On these ones, because it's kind of a long one. So adding buttons or tabs or recording files to your content is a HTML that you write into your page. And if you go into the Canvas community, I can never, I mean, obviously I'm on it, so I can remember that way, but if I ever forget what the Canvas community address is, I just go to Google and I just type Canvas community because I don't have it bookmarked on my page. So, and it's the first one that comes up, Canvas community welcome. And anything, these are Canvas guides, resources, training, all these things if you haven't been in the Canvas community before. And you can type in adding buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you all these different places that you can learn about buttons.
Okay.
You can create buttons at a website called thebuttonfactory.com. The problem with those ones is they're little images, and so you can't change them in the HTML. They just become and it's just a link based on an image. Okay, and there's also pages that @ONE has created within the community that also give you the directions on buttons and tabs. We don't use tabs, I don't think, in Introduction to Canvas. So I don't think you see them. I'll show you what they look like. See, here's some buttons. How do you create new buttons?
Okay.
But there's multiple pages in the Canvas community about it. And I'll show you what tabs look like. Because like I said, we don't use them in Introduction to Canvas, I don't think. Okay, it looks like this. So then students click through the different tabs. And so some people like that, and some people not so much.
So you like buttons better?
I like buttons because it takes you somewhere. The reason why I don't like the tabs is because I think I would forget to read them. I'd forget to go to the next one.
Okay.
We at @ONE keep our pages fairly small. We don't like students to have to scroll forever on one. And so it's not too bad because I can see the tabs and the next button at the same time. So I can see that it's, maybe I have more to do. But if you had a smaller monitor or you had a ton of content, your tabs would disappear into the top. Like say you have it smaller like this, right? Oopsie. Not what I want. I just got too many things open here. So say it's small like this, okay, because you have a small one. And then you're down here on next, you read, oh, make sure you got all the content. Oh, I got all the content. And then you click next and you just missed these three.
Excuse me.
So, bless you. So that's the only thing I don't like about it is I think I would forget to read the other thing.
Okay.
Even with a reminder at the bottom, because that would just totally be what would happen to me.
So your course, this course is organized according to modules, right?
Mm-hmm. All of our courses are organized by modules.
I have already submitted the assignment, and I said I'll organize according to assignments because the feedback I get from students is that they often forget to do certain assignments. So if I have them on the front page, they will not forget. But then you made a point about they have to read modules. And of course, I want them to read the modules too. How do I
you want them to read the content. So what I do is I make sure all the assignments are within the module also. So we have our content pages, and then there's an assignment, the discussion. My hope is that when a student is in there, they're just going to keep nexting through and they're going to get to the assignment and then they're going to do it.
Okay.
But if one of the things that you can do in the assignment, say you have, let's go to this one assignment. If before they do the create and share sandbox, before they do that, you want to make sure that they read all the content and the how-to. You can either put the content and the how-to in the body of your assignment, then they would have it available to them. Or you can put a link that takes them to the content page.
Okay.
And say, don't forget you have to read this before you do the assignment.
Okay.
You just want to make sure, because we get that too, even with when our students are faculty, that, you know, we'll get stuff in the discussion that says, well, I don't know how to do blank. And it's like, well, that's because you didn't read the page.
Right.
You know, and college students, well, every student is notorious for that. So, you know, you just want to make sure that they have access to the content and that they don't forget that they're supposed to read the content before they do the assignment. And I think a lot of students of any age would rather just do all the assignments and not read.
Right. Right.
I mean, right? They want to do that. They just want to get it done.
Yeah.
And so that's the main issue with giving them just the assignments modules. They're just gonna be like, okay, this is all I have to do because this is what I'm getting points for. And there's going to be content in every course that's not directly related to points, but you still need it.
Right.
Watch a video or read this or whatever.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Which is why we keep the assignments off in ours, so they can't even get directly to the big assignment list. You can see it in syllabus. But at least it's organized by date here, and they're kind of, as opposed to just a big
List.
Yeah, list of assignments.
Right.
That are not in order by date. Okay, so we're talking about this week, we're doing the home page, the content page, and the module. So we talked about the home page. Remember, when you create your content page and put it inside your module, you need to publish both of those items. Do not delay release them. If you lock them or set them to release a month down the road when you're actually going to be teaching the course or something like that, as a student in your sandbox, I cannot see it. So make sure it's published and active right away.
Angela.
Yes, Pamela.
I read in the syllabus that the sandbox will be deleted after a month.
The course, this course, your @1 course, becomes inactive after a month, but your sandbox is there forever. That's actually the reason why we have you create a sandbox in the other instance of Canvas and not the @1 instance of Canvas. So it's on their server, on Canvas's server. And so @1 is not maintaining it over there.
What happens if we want to come back to look at how you did all these things? Would that be possible?
I believe that the course is public. It did have that down in settings. So you wouldn't be able to interact with the course, but you can still look at it.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
because I was looking at that earlier and I saw that it says the course is public. right here. Visibility.
Oh,
I think that
okay.
means you can see it no matter what.
Oh, okay.
Anyone that has the URL. So you'd have to keep the URL because you won't see it in your dashboard. So you have
Okay.
to write down this part right here all the way to the number. And then anytime you go back, you could see it. You just can't do anything. You wouldn't be able to post in the discussion or submit an assignment or
Okay.
anything like that, but you'd still be able to view it.
Okay. And I currently use Etude at my college.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way you can show us how to import some of the data into Canvas?
Yes, right there in that Canvas community, because I don't have an Etudes account that I can just transfer stuff from. But in that Canvas community that we were looking at, they have how to import from the different ones. So you just put in Etudes import,
Okay.
and then it'll tell you. So migration issues, so that'll tell you anything that people may have having problems with. But it'll talk about all the different ways that you need to import content. And you can also just do content import also.
Content import.
Mm-hmm.
So even because I will be preparing the courses to start in the fall, and I want to get things ready during the summer.
Absolutely.
I could add, let's say I will be teaching 3 or 4 courses.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, I could import all the E2 courses into Canvas before I even get my official school site. Is that possible?
Yeah, because you can do it here in your sandbox, and then you can play around with it and do, like I just moved my sandbox from this website into the Canvas one, the same where you guys have yours.
Okay.
Just so that it's separate from my @ONE account. And then, so this is all the sandboxes. I have a lot of them because they're all you guys' sandboxes.
Okay.
They're not mine. These are all the ones I'm enrolled in as a student.
Okay.
But here's mine. I made it puts them in alphabetical by name. So I made mine AA and then Angela's sandbox, so it comes up at the beginning.
Right.
And then, so what I did is I just exported it. Export course content. So it just saves to my computer, and then I just import content when I created it, and it just uploaded it in there. And it's pretty easy when you're doing Canvas to Canvas, especially. So you can create all your stuff in your sandbox, and then whatever you want to move out to your actual course when you get your login and everything from your institution, you can just move it out of your sandbox. So sandbox has so much stuff in it that's totally irrelevant to everything. So
I can set up like 3 or 4 different courses in the sandbox, and then import my E2 content into the sandbox.
Yep.
First, and then when I get my official sites, I can put them back into the official site.
Yes, because what you may find, I know I've talked to somebody about how Blackboard does it, but what you may find is that as you import things into your Canvas sandbox, they do not transfer exactly like they looked in Etudes.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're going to want to transfer it in and then like sift through everything and see maybe some of the stuff still looks great. Maybe it took 2 pages and turned it into 1 page, or 1 page and turned it into 2. And so you're going to have to see how the formatting looks and how and then actually transferred over and what didn't, and then adjust it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let me know if you have any other questions on anything we're talking about this week in class, or any of the things that are coming up or that you've already done, or on the grading or the announcements or anything like that. But if you have no further questions, you're free to go, and I'll stop the recording when we log out, and then I will get it posted up in our Canvas Klatch archives and information page.
Thank you, Angela.
You're welcome. Have a great Wednesday.
Same to
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Angela. That helps a lot.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.